Today we're moving forward on important legislation focused on pregnancy crisis centers to make sure that women get the right information about the services and support that they need when they're making important life choices. We're always going to be there as a government, as a party, to stand up for women's rights, for women's reproductive rights, and push back against anyone who's trying to take those rights away. Aujourd'hui, on avance sur un projet de loi qui va réglementer et s'assurer que les centres de crise de grossesse partagent les informations véridiques sur les services et les options qu'ils sont en train d'offrir, parce qu'on sait que les femmes doivent avoir toute l'information et tous les choix quand vient le temps de faire des décisions par rapport à leur santé reproductive. On va toujours être là, en tant que gouvernement, en tant que parti, pour défendre les droits des femmes contre tous ceux qui veulent les santé.
Any reaction to Mr. Blanchet's comments today? Are you still willing to negotiate with the Bloc moving forward?
Listen, over the past number of weeks, I've had some very good conversations with Mr. Blanchet. We agree as a party that we need to work on supporting vulnerable people and doing more for our seniors. It's one of the reasons why we've been so enthusiastic about delivering dental care to so many seniors across the country. And we're going to continue to look for ways to help Canadians through these difficult times and work constructively with everyone in the House. J'ai eu de bonnes conversations avec M. Blanchet au cours des dernières semaines. On va continuer de chercher des façons d'aider les gens vulnérables, incluant les aînés. On est très fiers d'être à presque 1 million d'aînés, de gens qui ont pu avoir des soins dentaires. On va continuer d'être là pour travailler constructivement avec tout le monde dans la Chambre. Merci.
You've lost their the NDP says Mr. Trudeau has lost their confidence, so why not work with the Bloc today and trying to bring down the government to let Canadians decide?
You know, I think what we saw today is that clearly the Bloc aren't able to deliver things for Canadians. The NDP were able to deliver dental care, pharmacare, some of those things that Canadians need, and we're going to continue to see if we can get things for Canadians.
Is the NDP ready for an election?
Est-ce que le NPD va sauver le gouvernement maintenant qu'il n'est plus question que le Bloc le fasse?
Je pense que la leçon à retenir d'aujourd'hui, c'est que le Bloc a échoué dans sa tentative d'obtenir des choses de la part du gouvernement minoritaire. Nous, on a obtenu des soins dentaires, on a obtenu la loi anti-briseur de grève, on a aidé les gens concrètement. Aujourd'hui, le Bloc, c'est une grosse menace qui va nulle part, c'est un gros pétard mouillé. Pour la suite des choses, on verra. On verra à chaque fois qu'est-ce qu'il y a dans ce qui est mis sur la table, si c'est intéressant, puis si ça aide les gens pour vrai. Ce que Jack Meat et moi, on a toujours dit, c'est que nous, on est là pour travailler, pour aider le monde. Puis ça dépend de ce qui nous est présenté.
Est-ce que vous allez aller de l'avant pour faire une motion qui demande de
What will your demand be with the government, then?
We don't have any demands today. What we can learn from today is that the Bloc Québécois is useless, brings nothing to Quebecers, is incapable of negotiating. So it's a failure for them. And for us, we'll see what is on the table every time. If it helps people, we are going to be ready to support it. But I don't have a list. I'm not negotiating right now. We broke the deal.
Your colleague Blake
Il va y avoir des élections d'ici octobre 2025. D'ici là, on verra si le Parlement finit par fonctionner ici, parce que les conservateurs bloquent tout. On n'avance pas, les dossiers n'avancent pas. Je trouve ça pitoyable, c'est un gaspillage de fonds publics. Puis on verra. Puis là, de toute façon, il n'y aura pas de vote tant que les conservateurs continuent à faire ça. Ils paralysent complètement le Parlement.
But can you clarify what the NDP want? Because, I mean, for example, your colleague Blake Desjardins floated the idea of keeping the government in power at least until the spring after the budget. Is that your
it's an option? It's an option, but I don't know. We'll see in the next weeks and months. What I can see today is that we achieve some goals and help people for real in real life, and the Bloc is incapable of doing that.
The Bloc is saying that they want to have a meeting with all of the House leaders from all the parties. Is that happening today? Are you going to be meeting with the Bloc to? And what are you meeting on?
It's a little bit of a show from Yves-François Blanchet because, parliamentary leaders are talking to each other almost every day. So that today is I'm going to send Alain Terrien to talk to the other parliamentary leaders. It's like every week. What the heck are you talking about?
Mais comme vous dites, au NPD, on veut vraiment, notre priorité, c'est qu'il y ait des ententes provinciales sur l'assurance médicaments. Mais ça peut prendre, on le sait, ça peut prendre 1 an là, des ententes avec les provinces et territoires. Alors, est-ce que ça veut dire que vous allez attendre tout ce temps-là pour défier le gouvernement?
il n'y a pas un lien de cause à effet direct. On espère que les provinces vont être ouvertes, qu'ils vont négocier de bonne foi parce que ça va aider beaucoup de gens, les diabétiques, les femmes, entre autres. C'est une bonne nouvelle qu'un gouvernement néo-démocrate en Colombie-Britannique qui a été réélu. Ça va accélérer le processus, mais on n'est pas lié au succès de ces négociations-là pour le déclenchement d'élections.
Pouvez-vous débloquer le Parlement en aidant le gouvernement?
Bien, il faudrait d'abord que les conservateurs et les libéraux se parlent puis qu'ils trouvent une solution. C'est d'abord à eux autres de régler ça.
Non, mais vous avez le pouvoir de le faire.
Qu'est-ce que c'est votre priorité? Excusez-moi, j'ai manqué le début. Qu'est-ce que c'est la condition pour que vous continuez à appuyer les libéraux?
Il n'y a pas de condition. C'est à chaque vote, on va regarder si c'est intéressant et si ça aide les gens pour vrai. J'ai pas une liste en ce moment. On n'est pas en train de négocier, mais on est toujours prêt à écouter.
OK. Est-ce que vous êtes prêt à aller en élection?
Je suis toujours prêt. Mes photos sont prêtes.
Are you expecting that the NDP will come to the table in negotiations with the Liberals?
I expect that we'll have to, like in any minority parliament, continue to cooperate with opposition parties to get our proposals through Parliament.
But isn't your only option left the NDP? I mean, the Bloc today said they were going to start negotiating to bring you down.
Well, the Bloc support Liberal policy on a number of things, so we'll see how they do with respect to individual measures.
Est-ce que ça vous fait peur que le Bloc sorte maintenant et ils veulent s'entendre avec les autres partis pour défaire votre gouvernement?
Écoutez, nous savons que nous sommes dans une situation minoritaire, mais je trouve ça... ça me laisse perplexe pourquoi le Bloc voudrait collaborer avec Pierre Poilievre, qui est à l'encontre des valeurs des Québécois sur bon nombre d'enjeux.
What do you make of more Liberal MPs calling for a secret ballot vote? We've heard from several more people today and yesterday saying that's the way to close this debate once and for all.
Caucus matters are for caucus.
Do you support one?
Caucus matters are for caucus.
Thank you.
Do you want a secret ballot in caucus?
I think secret ballots would be helpful, always has.
And
How come it would be helpful? How would it be helpful?
It ensures that the caucus's opinion has been heard by the Prime Minister in an important way, and he will then have the assurance he has the caucus support.
Thank you. Your caucus have a secret ballot vote. Do you support that?
Sorry?
A secret ballot vote. Would
No.
you support that? Why not?
Why not?
Because there is a process in place that we all signed up to as Liberals. Leader of the party is chosen by the members of the party, and 24 members of caucus don't get to decide what happens to the party. I mean, our objective is very, very clear. We need to work together. We've all been very, very clear about the importance of being united and working hard to make sure that our government is re-elected in the next election, and that the agenda that Mr. Poilievre wants to impose on Canadians is not something that should ever come to pass, and we're going to work hard towards that.
But what about your colleagues calling for a secret ballot? Do you think that that's fracturing your caucus? Do you think it gives Pierre Poilievre fodder? What are you concerned about?
I am concerned about us making sure we do what is important, which is working for our constituents. I've just come back from working hard for my constituents this weekend, and that's my number one job. And any moment we spend on this palace intrigue nonsense is a moment we're not spending what we should be doing, which is working hard for our constituents. That's what I'm entirely focused on.
Do you think a secret ballot would clear the air? That's my question. Do you think?
I think the only thing that matters is making sure that we are working our tails off for Canadians.
My question is, do you think a secret?
Mr. Casey, do you want to see a secret ballot vote? What do you say to the cabinet colleagues who are saying you shouldn't have one?
Okay.
We should have one.
Yeah. Why?
I wish there was a mechanism for it, because I think there's an awful lot of people who aren't saying what they're hearing from their constituents, but are motivated by something else. I think a secret ballot would allow for those people to be responsible to their constituents. It would also bring finality. I mean, if there's a secret ballot and there's a convincing majority that vote with the Prime Minister, then we would all be duty-bound to move on. And similarly, if it went the other way, I think he would be. At least we could move past this media feeding frenzy and preoccupation with internal party matters at a time when there's significant issues facing the country and an election coming up. So I think a secret ballot would be a good thing. I wish there was a mechanism for it. I hope it happens in the absence of a mechanism, but I guess we'll know tomorrow.
Has there been a formal ask?
Not to my knowledge.
But wasn't there one at the last caucus meeting? I think one MP stood up and said and asked.
You're not asking me to divulge what happened in caucus, are you?
Est-ce que je peux vous poser une question en français?
Oui.
Pourquoi est-ce que c'est important qu'il y ait un vote secret d'après vous au caucus demain là?
C'est vraiment une question de motivation. Moi, je crois que ceux qui disent en public qu'ils préfèrent que le Premier ministre continue dans ce rôle, ils n'écoutent pas leurs commettants. Je pense que un scrutin secret va les permettre de vraiment d'être la voix de leurs commettants ici sans peur de répercussions.
Do you think Trudeau would survive a secret ballot vote if one was held?
No.
By how much? You seem confident with the no. How come? Where's the confidence coming from?
It's coming from my view that the people that feel compelled to show strength aren't being honest with the leader.
And would he need like a... Sorry, you were going to say something?
No.
Would he need like a simple majority to pass, or like would he need to get like 80% support?
Yeah. I mean, if we were under the Reform Act, it would be clear. We're not, so that isn't at all clear to me, and that would be part of the problem. Like, if this doesn't provide finality, well, what's the point? All we've done is given you a couple more days of headlines. That may be helpful to you. It's not helpful to us.
Is it your understanding that Andrew Bevin is going to be presenting some plans tomorrow?
I don't have any understanding of what's going to happen tomorrow.
Is there any world where Mr. Trudeau, a member of his team, could convince you that there's a way he can stay? Is there anything that they could say or do at this point to change your mind about that he maybe is not the best person for the job, given what you've heard from your constituents?
No. Take care.
Merci, Mr. Casey.
Un vote secret. Demain au caucus, un vote secret sur le leadership de M. Trudeau. Est-ce que vous pensez que ce serait une bonne idée?
Mais je pense que, de manière générale, je pense qu'on fait face à deux grands défis. Je pense qu'on s'entend tous sur le fait que c'est important pour définir, pour dire aux Canadiens qu'un gouvernement Poilievre, ça serait très risqué pour notre économie, pour notre environnement, notre sécurité, mais pour l'autre enjeu qu'on a, c'est effectivement qu'il y a une demande grandissante de changement dans nos communautés, puis c'est ça qui est au cœur des discussions.
Donc, un vote secret, oui ou non?
Bien, je pense que pour adresser ce changement-là, ce besoin de changement chez notre communauté, qui est important, je pense que c'est d'avoir des bonnes discussions. Une façon pour nous d'exprimer librement la voix de nos communautés, c'est vraiment un vote confidentiel. Je pense que ça permettrait vraiment aux partis vraiment d'avancer ensemble dans l'unité. C'est vraiment...
Non. Est-ce que vous allez vous lever, vous, pour le demander demain, ou comment ça va se passer?
Bien, demain, je pense qu'on a encore une fois, des conversations de caucus qui doivent rester en caucus, puis je vais le permettre.
Do you think it would bring finality? Do you think it would put this issue to rest, though, a secret ballot vote? Do you agree with colleagues who say that?
Yeah. Well, yesterday what we hear, or last week, is that we all agree that, we need to respond to or demonstrate to Canadians how a Poilievre government would be harmful or risky for our economy, our environment, our security in our community. We all agree on that. There's also a growing demand for change and in our community, and we also need to address this challenge, and that's the heart of our discussion right now. And I think that it's important to allow MPs to express freely the voice of their community. I think that for me is the best way to move forward with unity on that question.
Okay, donc, are you in favor of a secret ballot tomorrow?
Yes, I am. The Liberal Party, we're a Democratic Party, and I think a secret ballot is important for members to be able to provide their input.
Was that promised to you?
No, I just think I've read through a number of media outlets, and a number of my colleagues have suggested this idea. And I think it's a good idea to clear the air so we can be unified as party members and support our leadership.
So are you going to ask for it? Are you going to ask for it? Or like who's with? Because I know a lot of people want it, but somebody has to stand and ask for it. So do you know that that's going to happen? Or is there
what happens in caucus stays in caucus. I'm not sure what will...
But there's no mechanism. How are you going to make this happen? There's no mechanism.
Well, it's a conversation we're having with you. I support it. You asked me if I support it. I support a secret ballot. I think it's a great...
Are you going to take steps to make it happen, or are you going to work with colleagues to try to
If
get
colleagues ask me to make it happen, I will consider it. But I think it's important that we be able to express our opinions and be unified as members of the party and support our leadership. So I'm supportive of a secret ballot. As the Liberal Party being a democratic institution, it's something we should do so we can move forward, clear the air, and move forward.
Did you guys miss your chance? Did you guys miss your chance last week?
With?
To have the secret ballot and maybe ask Trudeau to leave, because this is what, several of you guys want?
Well, look, we have important discussions every week at caucus, as we had last week. I'm sure we will tomorrow and next week as well. So I think there's conversations being had, and we'll see what's being presented at caucus tomorrow by our caucus executive. And so I think I look forward to moving forward and fighting the Conservatives and looking forward to run and win the next election.
What do you mean cabinet ministers are saying they don't need a secret ballot? That it's decided. He's saying, what do you mean? These are your colleagues. They're saying we don't need one.
Yeah, I'm not aware of what cabinet ministers are saying, but I think all cabinet ministers and MPs should want to move forward and clear the air. And I think the best way to do that is to show support of our leadership. And many of our cabinet colleagues have also said that there's overwhelming support. I think that needs to be showed. And I think a secret ballot is a great way to do that, so we can all move forward.
Is there a divide between cabinet and caucus on this issue? Is there a divide?
I'm not sure. I mean, I can just speak for myself. I'm not going to get into internal caucus conversations. You'll have to ask those individuals.
What are the chances a secret ballot happen? We just want to understand.
I don't know. I mean, that's our caucus executive decides the process, and I'm not sure if our caucus chair or other executive members have had this conversation or not. I'm not aware if they have or if they haven't. But I'm supportive of having one.
What's the risk if a secret ballot doesn't happen?
The risk?
That is just the secret ballot doesn't happen, that you guys are asking for the status quo and he stays. Like, what's the risk in that?
Well, I think the risk is that these conversations could continue. I think we want to show unity within our party. I think as members of our party, folks who want to express themselves and show support for the leadership of our party, need to have a venue to be able to do that, and those who don't have that as well. And the best way to do it is to have it in a secret ballot so people can think about what the future is and how they want the future to be. And I'm supportive of it because I think the Liberal Party of Canada, as a democratic institution, should allow our members to freely be able to do what they believe in the privacy of a ballot box, and so we can move forward. I hope we can move forward with a unified approach, supporting our party and the leadership within our party, so we can get on to fighting the real opposition here, which is the Conservative Party of Canada.
Do you think Trudeau would survive a secret ballot vote?
Look, I don't know what caucus members feel. I think the one way to see how caucus members feel is to allow them to do that. And I think that's a great way to get support, as many of my colleagues have stated. I think having an overwhelming majority of caucus to support you through that process really shows that caucus is united and behind our leadership.
If there were to be a secret ballot and Trudeau were to survive it, would you or other people, I don't know, would the MPs that have signed the documents, would they move on, or would just keep on going?
I think if you have the overwhelming support of caucus, you have to move on. You have to be unified as a caucus. I'm a member of the Liberal Party of Canada. I ran in the last election under our party's leadership, under our party's banner. I'm running again. I'm one of those MPs who are nominated to run again, and I'm looking forward to fight the next election.
Do you think it's possible to turn the page without having a secret ballot, or it's really
I think it's an important mechanism to hear caucus members and get their support through that process, and I think that will clear the air and give us an opportunity to move forward. I will accept the results of caucus members. If we go that route, I will be happy to support everybody in our caucus like I've done so. But I think having that mechanism is important, and that's what we should be looking at doing.
Do you know how you would vote if such a secret ballot would happen?
Well, it's a secret ballot. I don't think we ask members of our public how they vote. I think we should let members vote their conscience through that process, and so we can move forward. And I think that's something that I support, and I hope other caucus members do, because I think it's the best way to put this behind us so we can move forward.
Do you think the Prime Minister took enough time to reflect before deciding he's going to stay?
I'm not going to comment on what the Prime Minister did. He's got a busy schedule. He thinks about these things every day, and he's thinking the future of our party and our country when he makes these decisions. I think the secret ballot is one mechanism to help him think about the future and what his colleagues are also thinking, and getting clear input from them and letting them vote their conscience through that process.
Your colleague Wayne Long said that Trudeau has a group of insiders that are maybe not telling him the truth right now. Do you agree with that?
I'm not sure who those insiders would be or not. I hope the leadership of our party takes input from the people who work around them, but also caucus members. And I'm one of those caucus members who, in caucus, over time has spoken up on many different issues, and I'm not afraid to do so, and I know my input's been taken into consideration.
And why the need for secrecy then? If caucus has the opportunity to stand up and tell the Prime Minister what does he thinks, why need secrecy?
Caucus is about caucus. The conversations we have in caucus are important. We keep them in caucus. And so that's something that I respect. I respect the opinions of my caucus members to have open and frank conversations directly in caucus.
Are you saying that some people don't feel comfortable or they don't want to put their name to their concern?
I think I think a lot of people have frequently speak their minds in caucus. But I'm one who does on a regular basis, and I'm going to continue to do so on the issues that are important for me, my constituents, and I believe for our country to move our country forward.
What's your message tomorrow going to be?
I don't know. That's something I'm going to reflect on throughout the day and overnight, and see what's being discussed at caucus tomorrow.
Thank you.
I've heard some of my colleagues talk about the secret ballot vote. I think it's a really good idea.
Why?
Because I think...
Feel free to wait until this is fine. Yeah, feel free to just wait. Okay, I think you're good.
It's a good excuse to collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, I think caucus unity is really important. We've heard expressed that the vast majority of caucus is behind our leader. I think we really need to settle this once and for all. And I think that the best pathway is to have a secret ballot and really resolve the question so we can really get on with what's important for Canadians.
What do you make a cabinet minister saying this matter's already settled? He's saying he is the majority of caucus. What more is there to do?
Well, I don't think that's reflected in what I'm hearing from caucus colleagues. I think, again, I don't think this is really going to go away until we can definitively send it away by having a caucus vote on it.
Do you intend to speak about it tomorrow at caucus to ask for that secret ballot? Or?
I will be. I won't actually have an opportunity tomorrow
Why not?
to speak.
Sorry.
Just for various reasons. I happen to be going home today to attend to some constituency matters. So.
Do you believe that the Liberals can win? You can win with Trudeau as the Liberal leader in the next election?
I think the odds are not looking good at this moment. I think what we really need is either a new vision to present to Canadians, and I'll be very interested in seeing what that vision looks like tomorrow. But I think that if we're not unified, we also will not have the chance that we should have to really offer a very solid vision for Canadians so that we can prevent a Conservative government from taking power.
How do you respond then to ministers today saying the case is closed, we're moving on, we don't need a secret ballot?
Well, in my mind, from what I'm hearing, the case isn't closed yet. I think but we do need to close the case. We need to have a secret ballot and move on.
Okay, and are you expecting the Prime Minister to respond to that tomorrow in caucus? Like, I know that was asked in caucus last week. Are you expecting him to address that in caucus tomorrow? Are you wanting to hear the answer from him, essentially?
I expect he will be addressing that question tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Est-ce qu'on voit une élection se passer?
Non. Tout de suite, non.
Vous n'avez pas peur des élections avec le Bloc qui veut s'entendre avec les autres partis d'opposition pour défaire le gouvernement?
Mais à court terme, étant très très court terme, non. Pas du tout. Il n'y a pas de motion de confiance dans les parages. Là. Oui, je ne suis pas inquiet que ça va arriver cette semaine, non.
Do you think there should be a secret ballot in caucus?
Oh, absolutely. I do.
And what do you make of ministers saying today there should...
Un instant, on va
Oh,
faire un à
sorry.
la fois. OK, Radar, votre question?
Pourquoi un vote de confiance envers le premier ministre?
Je pense qu'un vote de confiance viendrait peut-être... je pense que c'est un exercice qui vaut la peine d'être fait dans une institution démocratique comme celle-ci. Puis je pense que ça rassemblerait, tout le Parti libéral derrière une même idée, donc une même bataille. Donc, ça pourrait rassembler, si on veut, les collègues, le Parti libéral du Canada, de se mettre derrière une seule et même idée, c'est-à-dire de battre pied à poilièvre.
Quelles sont les chances de voir ça demain, vous pensez?
Selon vous?
Je veux dire, ça circule tellement, j'écoute les nouvelles comme vous, ça fait que j'ai des chances que ça soit évoqué, je pense, qui sont excellentes.
Donc vous êtes mieux placé pour savoir, là, nous,
moi, je viens du Canada Atlantique, je me targue de dire qu'il n'y a jamais eu de fuite du caucus dans le Canada Atlantique, en tout cas, je pense. Donc, je ne vais pas révéler ce qui va se passer ou ce qui va revenir du caucus Atlantique demain. Donc, prenez pas la peine de me poser des questions par rapport à ce qui va se dire au caucus Atlantique. Au caucus national non plus.
Au caucus national, avez-vous l'intention de prendre la parole, de presser pour ce genre de vote?
Monsieur Boulerice.
Disons que j'encourage vraiment que ça se passe.
OK.
Oui.
Inside the caucus room, whatever
But does there need to be a secret ballot on the Prime Minister's leadership? Can you put to bed without it?
We need to have conversations inside the room.
Non. Pourquoi vous pensez que c'est une mauvaise idée?
Quant à moi, je suis claire sur mon choix, donc j'ai pas besoin d'un vote secret. J'ai toujours été très transparente et donc j'affirme justement être en soutien au leadership de notre premier ministre. Donc, j'ai aucun enjeu, aucun souci. Donc, voilà.
In English, please?
To the question about the secret, I don't think I need a secret ballot. I'm pretty clear and transparent in my choices, and so I believe that our Prime Minister is ready and willing to assume the leadership, and I support him.
And what do you make of your colleagues who are saying the case isn't closed and they want a secret ballot?
It is an idea that they have put forward, and as for me, my choice is clear, and so I wouldn't be in favor of a secret ballot.
Okay, thank you.
Bring of your colleagues that say this matter about Trudeau's leadership won't be settled until there's a secret ballot.
Well, I mean, everybody's got an opinion. That's what makes our party great. That's what makes democracy great. Our job always in government is to build consensus and to build towards getting people on the same page. And that includes in our own party. So everybody's going to make their own choice. I've made mine. The Prime Minister has my full and total confidence. I think he's absolutely the right person to lead the country.
Because your colleagues are saying you're not going to be moving past this until members get a secret ballot vote and they can actually say what they think about his leadership.
There's the fact that a handful of members want something. There's lots of things I want in life I don't get. With all due respect, they don't get to dictate to the rest of caucus, nor to the party. Our party selects a leader through a process that's approved by our convention and constitution. And the idea that a couple of members of caucus can override our convention or our constitution, I don't know any party members who are excited about that. And I also would say that in terms of being a caucus member, you don't have the right to tell other caucus members what their process should be. No one individual can impose their will on the rest of caucus.
But we're talking about
Can you clarify though? I mean, do you believe that a vast majority of caucus supports the Prime Minister?
Absolutely.
So why not have a vote then?
Because it isn't. Because first of all,
proven, then what is?
Well, look, I can understand. Well, the problem is it's not how we select our leader, and it's a complete misunderstanding. Like in the UK, I believe they still choose their leader by voting of caucus. It's our party members who get to choose our leader. That's in our constitution. I'm a party member. I joined this party when I was 12 years old. No, but their caucus has the power to do that. Our caucus has never done that. And I can tell you that I am, as a person who joined the party at 12, who voted, in my first party processes before I was allowed to vote in a general election. I take the Constitution and rules of our party very, very seriously. And the idea that a few members can override our Constitution and override our processes, to me, I don't know what they're getting at. That just, if they want to go to the convention and change the rules about how we select a party leader, then they're free to do that. But they are not the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party is its members. The Liberal Party chooses its process. The Liberal Party has a biannual convention where it determines its constitution. None of us have the ability to override that constitution and choose a different process.
Okay, thank you, Minister.
l'instant, il n'y a rien annoncé.
Mais c'est pas vrai que vous avez décidé? C'est donc faux?
Vous savez, ça fait longtemps qu'on a décidé qu'il allait y avoir un train entre Québec et Toronto.
Oui, mais l'option 3-5 km.
On a déjà dit clairement que c'était au début un TGF et qu'il y avait des ouvertures pour un TGV. Ceci étant dit, on n'est pas encore rendu à faire une annonce. Quand le temps d'annonce sera arrivé, on la fera.
Non, attendez.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Est-ce que c'est pas vrai que vous avez pris une décision? Vous devez nous le dire. Là. Si l'option du train à 200 km/h est encore sur la table, ça veut dire...
Il y a des choses à préciser. Là. La raison pour laquelle il faut attendre un peu, c'est qu'il faut préciser certaines choses, parce que c'est un projet, c'est une décision complexe, avec des éléments d'ingénierie et des éléments financiers et économiques considérables. Donc, on a besoin d'un petit peu plus de temps là, pour faire une annonce.
La nouvelle est exagérée, donc?
Je sais que la nouvelle, elle va venir bientôt. Quand elle sera arrivée...
Il faut vraiment y aller. Merci beaucoup, tout le monde. Merci.